Communication is very key when it comes to any type of relationship, okay? I'm talking about friendship, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, family member. These days, a lot of people tend to be doing a lot of assumptions, especially when it comes to friendships these days. People would rather expose one another and beef with one another and just talk about each other behind each other's back and disrespect each other one another and throw shade at one another rather than just talking about what the issue is. And a lot of y'all don't be talking about what the issue is. You would rather just fight with one another. Y'all be fighting, putting your hands on each other, you know, yanking each other's hair, beating each other up. It's just all about having a grown, mature conversation and listening to one another, because a lot of people don't listen either. I feel like a lot of friendships would have been fixed if people would just use good communication, if people would just listen to one another. Hey y'all, what's good? It's your girl Fast and I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are having a blessed day. I hope you guys are having a blessed Friday. Hope you guys are well. Today's video is going to be about communication, and y'all probably thinking, girl, why are you giving us lessons about communication? Communication is very key when it comes to any type of relationship, okay? I'm talking about friendship, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, family member. Y'all don't be using your communication skills. And I feel like these days a lot of people tend to be doing a lot of assumptions, a lot of talking about one another behind each other's back, beefing with one another, exposing one another. You would rather just shout, bicker, argue, rather than speak to someone in a professional manner or speak to someone in a good manner, you know, so you can both get your point across. And I feel like that's why there's a lot of issues with a lot of relationships and friendships. Like these days, a lot of people tend to do a lot of beefing in social media. A lot of people tend to be doing a lot of beefing in public. People would rather put their hands on each other and fight with one another and beef with one another rather than talking about a particular situation. You know, this is why a lot of people don't have respect for one another, especially when it comes to friendships these days. People would rather expose one another and beef with one another and just talk about each other behind each other's back and disrespect each other one another and throw shade at one another rather than just talking about what the issue is. And a lot of y'all don't be talking about what the issue is. You would rather just fight with one another. And I feel like y'all be fighting, putting your hands on each other, you know, yanking each other's hair, beating each other up. Like, y'all be making it such an easier option, and y'all be ruining your lives for a petty situation when y'all could have just spoke about it. People would rather feel like, oh, I'm not about to be disrespected, I'm not about to be spoken to like that. And I understand that, because guess what, there's a lot of disrespectful people in this world. But rather than walking away from the situation or having a mature conversation with someone just so you can squash whatever problems you guys have, y'all would rather just put your hands on each other. And I feel like, you know, there's a lot of friendships, short-term and long-term friendships, have been lost because people can't just have a good communication. People can't have a good conversation. Even if you guys don't end up being friends, at least you guys try to have a conversation and then ended the conversation or ended the communication with a good note and ended the conversation with respect. None of y'all don't have to go as far as disrespecting with one another in public or behind each other's back. Say like if you had a good friendship with someone and then all of a sudden that particular friend just distances from you or doesn't speak to you for no reason, for no particular reason, and then you realize, god damn, like me and you were like good people, me and you were like close friends, you're like my sis, and then for you to just cut me off like that, it's like, girl, we could have just spoken about it. But you know, a lot of people don't be doing that because people feel like, well, I don't owe you no conversation, I don't owe you no communication. That's why a lot of friendships don't survive, because people can't talk about whatever issues that they have. People do a lot of assumptions, a lot of misunderstandings tend to happen, a lot of disrespecting one another, arguing with one another, beefing with one another, putting your hands on one another happens a lot because people don't use good communication skills, because people would rather just, you know what, I'm just gonna literally drag you through the mud, because guess what, that is the best option. Then you say things out of anger that you don't mean and you can't take it back, and then that friendship has literally gone because of your stupidity. I'll give you guys a little story. Back in 2017, me and this friend, I don't know if this friend is watching this. If you are watching this, don't worry girl, I ain't mentioning your name. Me and this friend literally like going to a huge misunderstanding, and for me, when it comes to like friendships, like I don't really have a lot of friends, but when it comes to like certain friendships, and when I'm very close to you and like I feel like I have a strong bond with you and I have a, you know, a good friendship, like I'm the type of person that I love hard. I'm the type of person that I literally love so hard, and if I feel like you've done something wrong or there's something that you did that I didn't like, I'd rather tell you to your face. And it might come across that I'm being rude, but I'm just a vocal person and I'm very passionate. It comes across that I'm being rude, but I'm just very honest, and sometimes I'm brutally honest, and that's why I probably don't have a lot of friends, because I'm literally like brutally honest. Yeah, so basically this friend like kind of annoyed me. She did some things that really annoyed me, and you know, it was like little things here and there, little things here and there, and you know, I was just trying to leave it and keep it moving, that I literally just blew up and I literally just said how I felt in my head, and that person literally fired back at me and she was just getting a bit disrespectful towards me, and I was like, baby girl, why are you getting so rude for? And then it was like back and forth, back and forth. I kind of went too far because I just felt like you're literally starting to disrespect me now. I was just trying to come from a good place, like I was just trying to be a friend. I was just trying to tell you where you went wrong. It just went really bad and we didn't speak for a whole year. Let me just tell you something. A year later, this person reached out to me. When I tell you, I had to have so much respect for that person, because that person apologized to me. She told me why she's apologizing. She told me where she went wrong, and you know, hopefully we can move forward. And let me just tell you, it was a whole essay, a whole dissertation of an essay. I just felt like I respect you for doing that, because let me just tell you something. A lot of people these days, they have so much pride and they can't apologize. They always have to find a reason why they're not apologizing. They always have to find a reason why they're not in the wrong. For her to just apologize and realize where she went wrong, basically being the bigger person, I have to have respect for you for doing that, because a lot of people don't do that anymore. A lot of people have so much pride, don't know how to say sorry. I even was a bigger person. I said, you know what? I accept your apology, and I'm gonna say that I'm sorry for the things that I said. It's just being grown. It's just all about having a grown, mature conversation and listening to one another, because a lot of people don't listen either. I feel like a lot of friendships would have been fixed if people would just use good communication, if people would just listen to one another. Even though if the friendship is not mended, at least you tried, and you tried to have a civil conversation. And if that didn't work out and that person doesn't seem to listen to you and doesn't seem to understand where you're coming from, at least you tried and you keep it moving. You know, a lot of people can't help themselves. They can't help themselves, and they'd rather put their hands on one another to just basically get their frustration out, when you could use that energy to elevate yourself, make moves, become a better person, you know, put all that energy into your goals and dreams. But no, people don't know how to do that. But anyways, y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and I shall see y'all on my next video.